there's a moment that breaks most men. It's not when she leaves. It's not when she yells. It's not even when she says, "I need space." It's when she starts pulling away, quietly, when the text gets shorter, the calls get less frequent, the energy shifts, not with a bang, but with silence. You feel it in your gut before your mind can process it. Something is off, something has changed, and your instinct is to fix it, to chase, to explain, to prove your worth, to beg her to stay, to do something, anything, to stop the distance from growing. But here's the cold truth. That reaction is the very thing that guarantees you lose her. Because when a woman starts pulling away, she's not always testing your love. She's often testing your strength. And most men fail that test. Not because they're weak, but because they're scared. Scared to be alone. Scared to lose her. Scared that if they don't fight for her, they'll never feel that closeness again. But fighting for someone who is already walking away never brings them closer. It only pushes them further. Because the more you chase, the more she pulls back. The more you explain, the less she listens. The more emotional you get, the more emotionally she checks out. It's a painful paradox, but it's also a moment of awakening, if you're willing to see it. You see, the man who panics when she pulls away is still seeking validation from outside himself. He hasn't learned yet that real power isn't in what you say, it's in what you don't do. It's in what you withhold, your silence, your calm, your ability to feel the storm and not flinch. Because here's what women don't tell you, but always feel. When a man stays grounded in the face of distance, it changes everything. It's not about playing games. It's not about manipulation. It's about energy. When she senses that your world doesn't collapse without her constant affection, it creates gravity, mystery, tension, and whether she admits it or not, she feels it. She wonders why you're not reacting, why you're not chasing, why you're not falling apart like most men do. And that curiosity, that shift in energy, that's where the power is. But let's be real, staying calm when the person you care about is pulling away, it's hell. It's a quiet kind of pain that eats at your chest. You check your phone 100 times. You rehearse messages in your head that you'll never send. You ask yourself if you did something wrong, if she's talking to someone else, if she's already halfway out the door, and yet you say nothing. Not because you don't care, but because you finally learned how to care without losing yourself. That's emotional discipline. That's masculine energy. That's strength. Most men think strength is aggression. It's not. Strength is non-reaction. It's feeling the anxiety rise in your stomach and choosing stillness. It's letting go of what you can't control, without resentment. It's knowing that if she pulls away, your value doesn't move an inch. Because if your worth is dependent on her validation, then you're not in a relationship. You're in an emotional prison. And when you make her the center of your emotional world, you shrink in her eyes. You become less of the man she was once drawn to. Not because you're unworthy, but because you stopped leading. You stopped holding the frame. You stepped out of your power. And whether she knows it consciously or not, she feels that drop. You became reactive, and nothing kills attraction faster than a man who loses his edge under pressure. So what do you do when she pulls away? You don't react, you reflect, you don't beg, you breathe, you don't chase, you center yourself. Because the truth is, women want to feel you as a grounded force in their life, not a storm of insecurity, not a boy needing constant attention, but a man who can stand alone and still choose love. That's the paradox of feminine psychology. She wants connection, but she's drawn to strength. She wants affection, but she's attracted to mystery. She wants love, but she needs to feel your backbone. And the moment she senses that you'll abandon your boundaries just to keep her close, the respect begins to erode. Slowly, quietly, permanently. But when you stay composed, when you trust the process, when you trust yourself, that's when she starts to feel you again, not just as a boyfriend, not just as a partner, but as a man, one she can lean into, one she can respect, one she can feel safe being feminine around. Because here's another hard truth. A woman can't stay in love with a man she doesn't respect, and she can't respect a man who crumbles the moment she creates space. So let her pull away, let her feel the distance, let her wonder why you didn't panic. Not to punish her, not to play cold games, but because you finally understand your peace isn't negotiable, your self-worth isn't on trial, your masculinity isn't something you give up to keep someone from leaving. If she walks, she walks. If she stays, she stays. But either way, you remain the same man, whole, focused, unshaken. That's what flips the script. That's what makes her pause and think. That's what builds attraction again, not through words, but through energy. Women don't respond to logic, they respond to feeling, and they feel your energy more than your words. So if your energy says, I'm okay without you, not bitter, not resentful, just okay, that's the beginning of power. That's the birth of emotional freedom. Most men never get there. They stay in the loop, react, panic, overthink, lose her, repeat. But you're not like most men. You've bled, you've chased, you've begged, and now you're done. You've learned that detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to love without needing, to care without clinging, to desire without dependency. And when a woman meets a man who loves her with that level of depth and freedom, she feels something rare and deeply magnetic, because that man is not trying to get love from her. He is love. He brings presence, calm, stability. And if she pulls away, he doesn't flinch, because he's not afraid of distance. He knows what he brings, and he'll never beg someone to see it. So to the man watching this right now, if she's distant, don't chase. If she's cold, don't argue. If she's uncertain, don't try to convince her. Step back, step up, and step into your power. Let her feel your absence. Let her wonder who you're becoming. Let her remember who you were when you were centered, focused, driven. And if she never comes back, good. Because the kind of woman who needs you to abandon yourself just to keep her close is not a woman you want to build a future with, but the kind of woman who feels your calm in her chaos, who sees your silence as strength, who watches you grow in her absence and respects you more for it. That's the woman who comes back, not because you chased her, but because you showed her what real masculinity looks like, and that is the only kind of love worth keeping. So if you're done chasing, if you're done overthinking every little shift in her tone, if you're ready to stop handing away your power every time someone pulls back, then it's time to make a change. The truth is, love isn't meant to feel like a performance. You're not here to convince someone to value you. You're here to grow into the kind of person who never needs to chase again, because your presence speaks for itself. And if you're ready to take that step, to finally learn how to detach with strength, hold your frame, and shift the energy so they start chasing you, then check out my ebook, How to Stop Chasing Love and Make Them Chase You. It's direct, no fluff, and built for people like you, those who are tired of emotional confusion and ready to take their power back. The link is in the description, and remember, you never have to beg to be chosen. Stand still, grow stronger, and let the right ones feel your absence.